a couple wanders onto a quiet Louisiana beach. It's one of those warm spring afternoons where time seems to stretch forever. The breeze gentle, the sky soft and cloudless. They set up their chairs, they laugh, the world feels still. And as the sun rises higher and the heat thickens, they decide to cool off in the water. They expect a refreshing escape, but the moment they step in, everything changes. The waves aren't cool, they're thick, heavy, black. A foul-smelling goo clings to their skin, and it doesn't wash off. The couple stumbles back onto the beach in shock, unsure of what they've just walked into. What they've entered is not the ocean. It's the edge of one of the worst environmental disasters in US history. Just 41 miles offshore, the Deepwater Horizon oil rig has exploded. Over 210 million gallons of crude oil are leaking into the Gulf of Mexico. The ocean begins to choke. Fish, turtles, and dolphins suffocate in silence. Birds coated in black sludge crash onto the shores. And when the cleanup begins, it's slow and ineffective. They use dispersants, skimmers, and fires to treat the symptoms, but not the cause. Because how could they expect the real horror to be beneath the waves? Down in the depths, the oil lingers, suffocating plankton and sealing the seafloor in oil. What once was a thriving ecosystem becomes a complete dead zone. But what if it didn't have to be this way? That's where Bioforge's Refiner A2 comes in. Not just a mechanical solution, but a shift in how we confront these disasters. The A2 doesn't just skim the surface, it transforms an oil spill into fuel for the ocean's recovery. So let's see what would happen if the A2s were around when the disaster first struck. From the moment the rig explodes, inside HQ alerts flare, and within minutes the Refiner A2 fleet is activated. Autonomous mechs begin to move in. One by one, the A2 units race towards the disaster zone. They pierce the surface of the Gulf and dive deep. Beneath the waves, the mechs fan out. The oil-water mixture are pulled into their filtration cores and breaks down the toxic hydrocarbons in the oil into a biodegradable sludge that can help revitalize the ocean. With a full fleet of 1,000 deployed, in the first 24 hours alone, they've converted 7.86 million gallons of oil. But when a disaster releases 210 million gallons, the mission is far from over. Something shifts at the disaster site, and the mechs detect a rogue current, carrying fresh crude oil towards a delicate coral nursery. One unit, A291, detects the danger first, and diverts its course. It's all alone. And yet it sees them, hatchling sea turtles, small as the human hand, caught in this oily shadow. There's no time to call for backup. The mech overrides its limits, reroutes power, and kicks into emergency filtration mode. The pressure builds, its outer shell grows, but the A291 keeps going, almost breaking down. And as it reaches its final limits, backup arrives, working in perfect sync. And finally, the oil starts to thin. The turtles, unaware of the disaster they've just avoided, keep swimming. And by day 7, over 55 million gallons of oil have transformed, and the marine life returns. By day 27, almost a month after the initial disaster begun, nearly half of the original spill has been neutralized. Not burnt, not buried, not taken out of the media lens, but processed, less toxic, and a lot quicker than humans could do, already fading into the history books. If the Refiner A2s had existed in 2010, this story might have ended differently. Not in disaster, but in regeneration of the ocean floor. And this is what's possible when we don't hide from disasters that could happen. We don't have to believe in miracles, we can start building them. Because the next disaster is always coming, but this time, we'll be ready. Thank you for watching.